Rapzilla.com. What up, world? It's your boy Mike Mack. This is Rapzilla.com. I'm here with one of the greatest, one of the GOATs, top 5, top 10 ever.
Wow.
Ruslan, King's Dream Entertainment, Dream Junkie.
Okay.
No?
No, I don't think so.
Well, we might establish that before this conversation is over. You might slide up into even your own list. You might make your own top 5 by the time this conversation is over. So, just for the guys who don't know who you are, tell them a little bit about where you're from, where we at.
Yeah, my name is Ruslan. I'm from the former Soviet Union. I'm an immigrant who came to this country in '91. Me and my family came here as refugees, and I fell in love with hip-hop music, fell in love with hip-hop culture, and I grew up, and I figured out a way to make this my full-time thing. Yeah. And now I run a label called King's Dream Entertainment. I put out music as a solo artist. I put out music with my collective, the Dream Junkies. And I get to travel the country and do this for a living, man. So it's amazing. And I love God, and I love people, and I love just trying to add value to people. So yeah. That's
awesome. So you say you're an immigrant. English, not even your first language?
No, English my second language. My only thing I knew of American culture prior to coming to America was Michael Jackson and American Ninja.
That's dope.
Yeah, and then I came here and I learned English through hip hop music and cartoons.
Wow, that's crazy.
That's like how I assimilated.
Yeah. So English not even your first language. So you come here, you learn English, you become a rapper, which is, you master linguistics for a living. Mm-hmm. What goes through your mind when you see a guy like you asked if I watched the election debate? I didn't watch it. Mm-hmm. What goes through your mind when you see a guy like Trump, who's basically one of his main missions would be to keep guys like you from ever even making it into the country?
Well, one, I find him extremely entertaining. So it's like watching an extended SNL skit. I think it's really good entertainment.
Yeah, good TV.
Yeah, great TV. Yeah, I don't know all of his policies. I just think he's misinformed. I think there's a lot of fear in that. I think there's a lot of fear in just the notion that people who are different, people who aren't like you, are a threat.
Yeah.
And I just think that's a false way of viewing the world. I don't view the world that way, but it is our natural tendency is to default to fear when we don't know or understand something. And especially coming out here, like, we were part of the Soviet Union before the fall of communism. So we came and there was this like weird, like, you guys are commies.
Yeah. Are you spies?
Yeah. And I'm 6.
Yeah.
And there's like grown white men telling me that we have beef with America. And I'm like, really? Like, I didn't know that. As a grown up, I'm looking back like, why would you tell a 6-year-old that? Like, a 6-year-old like can barely speak English. Like, why would you explain to him that Russia and America has beef, like, or the former Soviet Union and America have beef? I didn't understand that. Unfortunately, I think that's usually the default of the human condition is fear and ignorance.
It's crazy. And I mean, in light of that, is we just heard there's another shooting. Mm-hmm. Another unarmed black man was killed.
Yep.
Unfortunately,
in San Diego County.
In San Diego County, while we were here before the filming of this. And so, I mean, it's kind of crazy. Your project, obviously, new one, Americana. Mm-hmm. You're an immigrant, and I look at Trump in the debates. I'm like, did Ruslan really just make a whole diss record for Donald Trump? Like, is that your motivation to diss Donald Trump?
Not at all. No. I'm more so focused on solutions and suggesting solutions from my experience and not attacking anyone or any person or group of people. So no, the Americana it's really just telling my story and like understanding that engaging my story more is actually relevant and timely in the current climate of what's going on politically, what's going on socially, what's going on with law enforcement. Like, I just thought it was timely because I stand in this weird in-between place where like I'm American and I'm assimilated, but I'm an immigrant and I have a totally different perspective. I'm a white male who's extremely privileged because I'm a white male. However, I make hip hop music. I'm a rapper. All my close friends are black. My wife is black. My son is mixed. So I'm in this like a weird in-between place that I think people don't know where to put me. And some of that, like, those people that have been around me, like, they know that culturally, like, I'm very different. I'm very direct. I don't really beat around the bush.
Yeah.
I'm a straight to the point kind of guy. And I think that's cultural, right? Yeah. I think Americans love to make small talk and like shoot the breeze. Passive aggressive. And I'm just like, this is what it is. This is where we are. This is who I am. This is who you are. Let's keep moving.
Definitely. Yeah. And so, I mean, I listened to the project.
Thank you for listening. Hopefully, all you guys listen.
Everybody should listen to it. I think it's phenomenal. I'll be 100% honest with you. I thought it was some of your best work. I thought it was some of the most aggressive, like, Ruslan project. I thought that you it just sounded like you just knew exactly who you were.
Okay.
Your delivery sounded like you knew you were saying things the exact way that you wanted to say them. I think your delivery improved over the past records.
Yeah.
I know Do For One was a huge step up over Carry On, but I feel like this one's just another huge step over the last project. Do you feel the same way?
Yeah, that's the goal. I think every record should get better. I think I should get better on everything I do. And Good Religion, you know, you got to come with it on a record with Belief in John. Like, they're going for it on every record. They're trying to take everybody's head off. Yeah. And so that was fun. A lot of rewriting there. Like a lot of like verses got rewritten. Multiple, you know, Boogeyman, I rewrote that verse. Juice, I wrote that verse. It gave me the opportunity to like, okay, like let me get it together on this one. And then just riding that wave into Americana, like, okay, cool. I'm just gonna keep getting better. I'm gonna keep progressing. I'm not gonna say filler bars. I'm not gonna say stuff sloppily, you know. And if I do, I'm going to re-record it and I'm going to make it better. I'm going to rewrite it. And there was some of that on this record, definitely. So a lot of that just having a good team around you. Like I got really good guys around me that be like, yeah, that ain't lit, bro. You need to work that. Like that wasn't tight, you know? And I got some of that on Americana. I wish I would have got more of that and had the time to do more of that on Do For One. It was just tough. I was having a baby. Again, I was still working a full-time job. It was just a lot to like juggle all at once.
So the Americana track, basically the first track, not counting the intro, I thought the first verse, when that jump hit, I thought it was like one of the hardest verses, the coldest verses that you ever spit.
I need to be constant, only so many options to roll again. I'm home again, got in my zone again, still believing that the best is yet to come. I guess I gotta roll up then, outside but not houseless. My money where my mouth is, you've been outwitted, cause very few are really about this.
And so what was your mindset when you're talking about very few guys are about this? Because I know the first thing I thought, I manage a lot of rappers.
Yep.
And sometimes I think to myself, very few of these guys are really about this. I don't know if that's where you were kind of going.
Yeah, I think that. I think the grind and the hustle that it takes. I think that music is, you know, you have to have the creative art side, which is really important. And then if you're indie, you got to have the science and the math and the business side, right? And then you have to have the grind and the work ethic to deliver at a professional caliber. Really, you got to have an edge. Like you got to have an edge over what else is out there in the market, right? Because you're independent, so you already got that strike against you. You don't have the same reach. So yeah, it's really just saying like, I'm willing to sacrifice. I'm willing to sacrifice sleep. I'm willing to sacrifice comfort. I'm willing to sacrifice luxury for the sake of really being about this. And that most people, either they're not about the creative art side, or they're not about the business side, or they just don't have the work ethic. And that's, you know, that's unfortunate, but it is what it is. A lot of people can listen to music. A lot of people can watch, you know, inspirational, motivational vlogs and read books, but very few people are actually going to go and say, okay, I'm going to grind this thing out and get to where I want to get to.
Yeah, definitely, man. When you guys hear that track, dudes are gonna open their eyes like, what is this dude on right now? You're not gonna be able to not listen to the rest of the record because it failed.
Yeah.
Dope track.
Thank you.
That jump's crazy. You talk a lot about your failures in different aspects and arenas of life.
Yeah.
Basketball. A lot of mentions of basketball.
Yeah.
In Hoop Dreams.
Yeah.
You compared yourself to Michael Jordan.
Yeah. Because they got cut.
Because you got cut.
And that story of Michael
Jordan.
And that story of Michael Jordan is even funny because he got cut from his varsity team as a junior. People think he got cut. He didn't get cut. So even growing up, and you grow up and you're like, oh, no, that's not really happening. So yeah, I got cut from my junior varsity team as a sophomore. And that's where I was like, all right, well, I'm just going to rap. Right? And I literally, like, up until that point, I really thought I was going to be a professional basketball player.
And you got cut from junior varsity.
Yeah, I got cut from my junior varsity team as a sophomore.
At least you know the signs.
Yeah, I knew right then and there, like, yeah, I'm not. And it's like, we live in such an aspirational, self-actualization world where, like, I just tell you, you can do whatever you want. And I wish somebody would have been like, look, like, it's not in the cards for you, bro. Like, you're not going to be a pro athlete. And then I transitioned into making music. And music, as great as it is, it didn't progress at the rate I thought it would, right? Everything, when you're a small business owner and you're an entrepreneur, which is I think how artists need to start viewing themselves. They need, we talk a lot about, you know, brands, what's your personal brand, but I mean, like, start viewing yourself as businesses, startups, right? When you view yourself as that, like, it's a slow burn. You know what I mean? It's a slow burn, especially if you don't have a corporation or a machine behind you. It's a slow burn, and it's worth it though. Like, it's really worth it, and it's really fun, and it's really exciting, but it's a grind. It's
a lot of guys I know, they drop their first record on TuneCore and their first song, and they think it's amazing to them. They put it out and they sell 4 units, and they're just absolutely shocked. They're like, what? Like 4? That's me, mom, dad, and my brother. Like my best friend didn't buy it. Like, you know what I mean? And they get the reality shock, and it's like kills some people's dreams.
It's a tough time to maneuver because you don't really know like how much to give away, how much to keep, how do you sell your art. There's so many more artists out there. There's so many good artists out there, great artists out there. So many ways to consume music that it's a tough climate, man. Like it really is. So I'm applaud anybody making an effort to actually do this on a professional level. It's also one of the greatest times to put out music because of all the technology and all the tools.
So easy to introduce.
So easy. Like, you know, you were with me. We just dropped a They Don't Know video, like on my laptop. Put it together.
Shot
Instagram.
it last week.
Shot it last week. Tweeted out. Like you couldn't have done that 15 years ago, 10 years ago. So I think it's the greatest time to make music because it's so easy to make it and release it. It's one of the hardest times to market it and cut through all the noise. There's a lot of noise.
Times and the worst.
It's the best times and the worst times. Totally.
So you're the Hoop Dream. And I hear this all the time. This great debate that goes on whenever I'm with you guys. Who's a better basketball player, you or John? Who wins?
Oh,
who
that's not
games?
even a question.
Because when I talk to him, he tell me he's flying past you.
No. John's very athletic.
Yeah.
Right? He's athletic. He's a buff guy.
He's bouncy.
He's in great shape. John's not a basketball player. Like he doesn't understand the fundamentals. He doesn't have great form. You know what I mean? So in all the areas where he's superior just as a raw athlete, there's a whole bunch of other areas that I'm just more trained and disciplined and conditioned and technical. So for the record, we've played one-on-one once. Completed one game. I won that game. We went for a rematch a second time, and we were both too winded. It was like right after a show, and we didn't even finish. We just gave up. And he's never asked for it again. So until he asks for it, I think it's clear.
Till he asks for it, John.
So it's clear.
Till he asks
for
it.
Who's the dominant basketball player.